Guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6 Strings 9 Lives, back for a CD vinyl update. Before we get rolling on the update today, I just want to talk a little bit about this Judas Priest situation. I'm sure you've heard the news by now. They have decided to go on and tour as a four-piece. Andy Sneap service is no longer needed for that part of the band. He's still on the production team, things like that. But I was actually shocked when I heard this news, and I'm just not a fan of it in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand the thinking behind it. I think financially, whether they were trying to trim back on the labor and not want to pay an extra guy, it actually that part will backfire. Whatever you're paying Andy, well, first of all, he's well worth it. But you'll actually end up losing in ticket sales, and you've already pissed people off as it is. But you know what? I would second guess whether I'd want to see that. I mean, I love Judas Priest. They're my favorite band. Don't get me wrong. I usually support all the decisions they make, but not this one. And I just think, like I said, if it's a financial thing, and I've always been one of those guys that, wishing and hoping KK would come back, two fingers crossed. There might even be some subliminal messaging in this room as we speak. But so whether you're not wanting to pay the extra guy, or you don't want to bury the hatchet with KK, okay, but there needs to be two guitar players on that stage. I've watched videos where they're throwing names around like Gus G, Jake E. Lee, George Lynch, just some probably not overqualified, almost too high profile, especially a guy like George Lynch. Unless you're getting the family discount, because Richie is married to George's daughter. Unless you're getting the family discount there, George, plus George he's a great guitar player, don't get me wrong, but he is not a fit for this situation. And you don't need a big name out there. You just need a good journeyman that's been, around the block. There's many guys, but I'm going to throw out one name because I'm going to show this band here shortly. But a guy from Malice, Jay Reynolds. Perfect fit. Get a guy out there on the other side of the stage. But you need a twin guitar attack for Judas Priest. That's just my 2 cents. I just don't understand the financial thing. I mean, okay, these guys are no spring chickens. I would be trying to bury the hatchet with KK. KK would actually, that would be the reason I'd go, and that would be another reason I'd probably want to see multiple shows. KK's back in Priest. Richie does the right thing and gives KK his spot back on the stage, which, knowing KK Downing, he wouldn't give a shit about that anyways. But out of respect, I think that is the right thing to do. But I could babble on about this all day long. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But I just think Judas Priest as a four-piece is it is just a brain fart, and I just hope I don't know, we'll see. But getting into this update, we're going to start off with a very thoughtful gift from a friend of mine here on YouTube, Matt over at the Accusation Network. I think it was about a year back. Matt was having trouble finding a vinyl copy of Raven Metal City, and copies for whatever reason on Amazon Canada were going for dirt cheap. So I did pick up an extra couple copies, sent one his way. I'm never expecting anything back. That's not why I send things. But Matt kindly and super kindly sent me this great gift. He recently went to a Raven show in, I don't know what area, but I think he's somewhere in Vermont in the States. But he went to the Raven show and got a copy of Screaming Murder, Death from Above, live in Elborg, signed for me. This is his very own copy, Matt's copy. Just super thoughtful. I can't thank you enough for this. Very cool. Love Raven. Just, high energy metal, but very cool. Matt got to see the show. He did interviews. He It's got lots of footage on his channel. I will leave a link to his channel below. Definitely go check out Matt's channel. Came with awesome inners. So this is, the album cover is signed by John and Mark Gallagher, the Gallagher brothers, which are been the founders of Raven since the beginning. Both been in the band. Probably, geez, how many albums would they have out already? Probably 15 or 16. I do have them. I do want to do a Raven ranking one day too, for those of you that would be interested in that. And this is pretty cool. It comes on red vinyl, and Matt's got them in the nice anti-static sleeves. Nice touch, but both like this. If I remember correctly, this album was recorded when Raven opened up when Udo Dirksnyder was under the banner of Dirksnyder doing Accept Classics. But the sound guy recorded all this material, and I don't even know initially if Raven knew that this existed, and whatever, they found out, and here we have a live album, which is pretty cool. Always nice to get some Raven, and thanks again, Matt. I really appreciate that. And yes, don't forget to go check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description. Okay, I was saying earlier, maybe get a guy like Jay Reynolds would be a good fit. Just a journeyman guy on the stage for Judas Priest. But anyways, there's thousands of guys that would fit that bill. But I am just leading into this album. I picked up a couple of Rock Candy reissues, which is, here's a question for you. Rock Candy on on CD. They come with these hype stickers. So are you a sticker on or off person? So they always come with these, but here's, let me know in the comments, but I think I'm a sticker on guy. But this is Malice's debut from 1985, produced by Michael Wagner. You'll know that name in just metal, German metal, just metal in general, Dokken, whole bunch of bands. But this is a fantastic debut. I had this on cassette back in the day, and I thought, you know what, I need to get this one on CD. Probably even one I would pick up on vinyl. This is just a really, Rock Candy, they do a great job too with their reissues. The booklet is always full of lyrics and full write-ups, histories of the band. They will tell you the good points, and they do tell you the bad points of what happened. Why did this band not break big? Because these guys would fall in that category of really good bands that just never broke big, kind of in the vein of bands like Keel, Icon, maybe to an extent like Armored Saint, Vicious Rumors, kind of in that category. Kind of US power metal mixed with a couple, I wouldn't say there's not much for thrash here, but these guys are kind of, this album especially would be kind of a new wave of British heavy metal influenced in a way. But some tracks to check out: Rocking With You, one of my favorites, Air Attack, Hellrider, and No Haven for the Raven. Check that one out. So that's their 1985 debut, and as far as I know, they only have 2 albums, so I thought I can't pick up one without getting this one too. This is their second album, also reissued on Rock Candy. This is from 1987, License to Kill. I'll just pull out this so you can see the full cover. Anyway, yeah, I do like those hype stickers, but do you leave them on or do you stick them in the inside, whatever. Here's the cover. So this is their second album, I would say. So the first one was produced by Michael Wagner. This one was produced by another big name producer, Max Norman, which you know. And I would say this one, the second album, is a little more on the commercial side, but there's still those new wave of British heavy metal influences. There's actually quite a bit of influences all over the board. That's why it's kind of hard to pinpoint these guys of, what exactly they are. But I would just say mostly US. They're just metal. But here's the back cover. Check out the album title track, License to Kill. If that doesn't sound like Judas Priest heading out to the highway, I don't know what does. Maybe a little thinner sounding, but it is definitely heavily Priest influenced. Other good tracks on here: Against the Empire, Chain Gang Woman, closing track, Circle of Fire. Yeah, great. And where's Jay? Well, there's Jay Reynolds right there. So Jay Reynolds, what else would you know him from? He was on a couple Metal Church albums when Metal Church did their comeback 4 or 5 years after Masterpiece album that they did with David Wayne. They kind of got going again with Ronnie Monroe on vocals, and Jay Reynolds was the second guitar player on Weight of the World, I believe, and A Light in the Dark. And then he left the band after that. So anyways, Priest, call him up, give him a chance. I'm sure he would be chomping at the bit to get up there on stage with you. So we'll see how that plays out. Next up, let's do a couple quick ones. I am not the biggest Whitesnake fan. I mean, I love, I really was big into them when the 1987 album came out. I got to see them on that tour with Motley Crue. They opened for Motley Crue. Fantastic show. But lately, I've just been picking up, these compilations, that Red, White, and Blues trilogy. It's good. It's got a little bit of everything on it. I don't mind that. But this one, I totally missed the boat years ago. I really wasn't following them. But this is the 25th anniversary edition of Restless Heart, which I love that title track. It is just a top-notch song. Lots of other great tracks on here. I never really heard this album prior to picking it up. A song here and there, like I said, like Restless Heart, but they did a good job on this one. I will continue to pick up these kind of anniversary or reissues or whatever of Whitesnake. And I think that is the photo of the original cover. And I've always liked what they've done with their little logo, kind of that melted wax stamp type of deal. But yeah. I still need to add some earlier Whitesnake to my collection. I'll get there eventually, but next up, here's one that I didn't have in time to show on my top 20 and was late, for sure late picking it up because I think this was probably like a February, March release, but an album that I initially just didn't give the chance to, but I'm glad I did. This one would have knocked something off my top 20. I don't know exactly whether it would be the bottom one or what, but this is Blaze Bayley, War Within Me. Awesome slipcover on here. PhD, so that's Plastic Head Distributors or whatever they're called. Now, I'm not sure which number this is in the Blaze Bayley catalog. I still need to check out. This is the first one I own of Blaze Bayley stuff. I always wasn't a big fan of the stuff he did with Maiden. Didn't hate it, but certainly not his fault. That didn't go over as well as it should have, could have. But he is a great singer. And even in 2021, this guy sounds fantastic. Glad I gave this album a chance. That one's in the CD player, but great booklet in here, full of all the lyrics, and there's a very cool montage of collage of photos here in the back. Yeah, if you pass this one by, it's just a good, solid metal album. From what I'm told, it's probably the most Iron Maiden sounding album that he's done, but let me know in the comments, is there any other ones that I've missed? Now we'll get to some of the vinyl here shortly. One more CD I want to show you. I'm a huge Kai Hansen fan, huge Gamma Ray fan, so I did end up picking this up. And I always usually will go this route for, I wouldn't say, my favorite bands like Priest and Maiden, stuff like that. I usually will buy pretty much anything. But this one was also released on vinyl, which didn't include the DVD, because that's what I'm really after, is that show. This is a Gamma Ray 30 years live anniversary. The only thing with this, there's no crowd. There's a couple people in the crowd, but if you can look past that, this is actually a really fun show to watch. And really my first experience listening to Gamma Ray with a vocalist that they've had for quite a few years now, Frank Beck. In the fold, Kai still does all his parts. They do lots of harmonies together, but there's a picture of Kai and Frank. I love Gamma Ray. They're a great band. Like I said, I'm a huge Kai Hansen fan. There's Dirk and Henjo. And of course, who else do we have? Michael on drums, and which Michael is now a part of Primal Fear also, which Ralph initially was in Gamma Ray. and you know, went on to form Primal Fear with Matt Sinner, but Ralph is you know, on a guest spot for, you know, I don't know, 3 or 4 tracks, but really cool show. Nice package here from Ear Music, or Edel, which is a German record label. Definitely worth checking out. And I love those those packaging where you get the 2 audio CDs and then you get the DVD to watch, because in that package the DVD will get way more use than the audio ever would. So that's kind of why I steer away from getting that on vinyl, because the vinyl version of that would most likely just honestly just sit in my collection and gather dust, I guess. But definitely check out some Gamma Ray. Hey, what have I got for vinyl here? Okay, recently been super excited about the announcement last year about all of the Savatage catalog getting reissued on Ear Music. I picked up the first, you know, 2 Sirens, and what else we got? Dungeons Are Calling. And then I picked up the next 2, and I thought I was waiting for one of them to come. I just wanted to show you them both at once. But this is, on the hype sticker, they say this is Savatage's 3rd album. I guess if you're going to count Dungeons as a mini album, I guess this would be their 3rd album, but I would say technically this would be their 2nd album. But regardless, doesn't matter. But here is Savatage Power of the Night reissue on Ear Music. Just these guys are doing such a killer job on these reissues. They also are going to take on the bulk of the Annihilator catalog, which I am super excited about. Some of those are long out of print, super hard to get, even on CD, and original on vinyl, which probably some of them never were issued on vinyl in the first place. But yeah, I'm a big Savatage fan. Just happy to get these. There's a huge write-up in here. They just did a really nice job. I will show you the vinyl. This one, well, here is the hype sticker if you want to read that over. What does it say? Pure Heavy Metal, Savatage's 3rd album. 180 gram vinyl. And this one, nice inner with this. So we got all the lyrics on here and the band that performed on that album. This guy here, Keith Collins, he played on here, but I mean, some of his work was touched up by Chris, I think, but he's no longer in the band after this album. But nice inner sleeve. Like I said, lyrics on the back. The vinyl, they did a nice job. It's just, this one is actually just black vinyl. There is the center logo, or center ring on that one. Same on the other side. Pretty cool. Oh, no, actually it's not the same on the other side. I misspoke there. It's got the fist from the front cover. Yeah, really, like I said, really happy to see these Savatage reissues come out. And next up, and this one actually was featured on one of my videos of a thread I took part in of 10 terrible albums that weren't Saint Anger, which I'm still blown away at the amount of views that video got. I'm also blown away at the amount of very super sensitive people that are out there. You know, just some bizarre comments, and I don't know. Sometimes people just take things too seriously, and yeah, you need to loosen up, man. Life is too short to be, you know, talking shit, because it's just a thread title. But you throw a word like that up there, you know, it's like flies to shit, I'll tell you. Anyways, I did buy one of my terrible albums on vinyl, and happy to have it, because really it's not a terrible album. It is just, like I explained in the video, one of this band's, not their best work. And I'm going to read you something in here too that kind of supports what I said in that video. But this is Fight for the Rock, Savatage's, whatever, we'll just call it their 5th or 4th album, whatever, however they worded it. But here it is. Here's the hype sticker. Returning on vinyl, Savatage's 1986 album, limited collector's edition heavyweight, 1 LP, exclusive 10-inch vinyl included, mastered for vinyl. So there's a 10-inch actually included. It's just this fantastic packaging. And this album is not as terrible as maybe I even said. It's just not their best work, put it that way. So here is the gatefold, and I can't stress enough how much of a great job Ear Music did on these. But anyways, there's some good tracks on here. So a couple cover songs, but yeah, not as terrible as the word terrible, whatever. This one came on white vinyl, very nicely done. And the reason I went after this version, I think there's one version available without the 10-inch, but I wanted the 10-inch. I figure if I'm going to invest the money, I want the complete package. So, and here is the center ring for this side. I already have Hall of the Mountain King on pre-order. Like I said, I can't wait for some of these to come out. Very cool inner sleeve with this. You know, you got some of the original writing on these old tapes and stuff that they recorded on. I like that touch. And this one also came with a little like a full booklet inner, some more lyrics, you know, original penmanship on there, all the lyrics. And this one actually opens up too. Oh, and I said I was going to read you something too. So it says here, and this is kind of was my thoughts originally when I was talking about this album. People misunderstood Fight for the Rock. Savatage vocalist John Oliva says, people got the record and were expecting Power of the Night Part 2. No one really knew what turmoil the band was going through during that period. We had bad managers. They shipped us off to London with no money and just left us there, and they just totally changed our whole career around. Like, this is what you need to do if you want to survive in the business. As Oliva's comments imply, Fight for the Rock is his least favorite of the Savatage catalog. He calls it Fight for the Nightmare more frequently than he calls it by its proper name. So that's all I was trying to say, just not their best work, but still got to have it in the collection. This one came with a really cool 10-inch. I know Hall of the Mountain King is coming with a 7-inch, and Dungeons also came with a 7-inch too. So this one is, so here's what's on here. Fight for the Rock. These are all from the Bearsville studio demos, and demos of Washed Out and Stuck on You, which are both great songs that are actually on Power of the Night. And here's the 10-inch. So very cool. That's only my second 10-inch record in my whole collection. So glad to have that. Glad to have some more Savatage. Okay, let's wrap this. We'll speed things up a little bit here. Now, this will be the third video in the row that I've showed this album, but the other two videos were for different reasons. But this is, not only is it made my top 20, it's also my album cover artwork of the year, but I just wanted to show you quickly the vinyl. I've already given you thoughts on this album. Where would this fall? This is, anyways, I'll tell you in a second. This is Exodus Persona Non Grata. I'll just quickly show you this and the gatefold. Wanted to show you the vinyl version that I got. Where would this fall for me? Right, this is no Tempo of the Damned. I'm not gonna say not even close. Well, yeah, maybe not even close. I really love Tempo of the Damned. This would fall in between Tempo of the Damned and Blood In, Blood Out. It's a little better to me than Blood In, Blood Out, but not as good as Tempo of the Damned. Let's leave it at that, and I'll just quickly show you the vinyl. Where's the hype sticker for that? This is a red and mustard swirl with a side order of French... never mind. There's no French fries. Limited to 3,500 copies. You know, not super limited or anything, but the vinyl's pretty wicked. You know, Nuclear Blast... They definitely know how to get your money. Love the center rings on that. This is like, what do we say? Mustard and something swirl vinyl. And the second side. This one's more ketchup. There's the mustard right there. But pretty cool. two vinyl set, both not exactly the same, but you get the gist. And finally today, this was kind of a gift slash trade, whatever you want to call it. Regardless, it's a thoughtful a gesture from a friend of mine. Thank you, Billy. You're a good friend. Thank you very much. But I could get this, but the price in Canada was really high up. And he says, this is going for a pretty good price in the States. I'm going to get you a copy. We'll work out something, blah, blah, blah. So this is Artillery by Inheritance. This is the first Artillery album I personally own, but I don't know yet if this is all I need. A lot of recommendations on their brand new album, and I've seen it on the a lot of people's, well, a few people's top 10 for 2021, which is X or 10, their 10th album. But this one is a American LP debut. So this is actually Artillery's third album. I think personally I'd still be interested in their first two albums because, it's kind of more like this. I mean, I love this original singer, and this one was produced by a guy that you will know from Metallica fame, Flemming Rasmussen. But this is just what video did I had this on the metal tag, because I highly recommend this as a 90s album. This definitely a thrasher piece. It really is. Love the tracks. So many good tracks on here. Beneath the Clay, R.I.P. by Inheritance. My favorite track on here is called Don't Believe. Just, back in thrash. But, excuse me. And this one came on a blue with red splatter, which includes right here. There's a band shot, great inner. I think this was a Real Gone Music? Yeah, Real Gone Music. Put this one out. They do a good job. I picked up last year, I picked up the Voivod, The Outer Limits on Real Gone, and I think one other one, but I forget what it is, but they do a great job too. Here is the vinyl, red and black splatter with a kind of a, of course, the Roadrunner label on there. And, as far as I can gather, I think Artillery kind of, lost a step after this. I think they actually went away for a while after this album and came back later. But let me know, am I missing the boat on some of their catalog? But that's it for this update. Sorry it went on a little bit longer, but we definitely had to touch on that Judas Priest situation. I hope it all works out. I don't know how it's going to go over as a 4-piece now. I don't know if it's something you can say, okay, we made a big mistake, we need to get Andy back now. It's just, you don't want him to look like an arsehole too, because he's a good guy. And like he said in his comment, I'll do anything for the band. It was just, knew it was a temporary deal, a gig anyways, but hope it all works out in the end. And until next time, stay heavy.